What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Wandering Jay, and you're watching me on Wandering Jay. But today I'm coming to you not as Wandering Jay, but as Juan, as who I really am. Again, we can go into that. It's like a whole nother conversation, huh? But this is going to be a short stream, and it's going to be an informative stream of us going to the ACLU website and reading their page entitled Know Your Rights, Immigrants' Rights. There's a lot of craziness happening today, and a lot of people are living in fear. Um, I want to tell everybody that nothing good comes from worrying, and try your best not to let fear enter your heart, because then you lose the present period. You lose the present. You lose the current moment. And I think a lot of us are justifiably feeling this way and feeling hopeless. But don't let fear, don't let violence um, take you away from your present moment. So that's what we're doing today. We're just going to read the ACLU's website to get some more information, and information is power. So, you can choose to be ignorant. A lot of people choose to be ignorant. They choose never to face the truth. And they're miserable because of it. But that's not what we're going to do, because we know we're souls, and we know we are children of the earth, and because we know every human being on this planet is our brother and sister. There's nobody better than anybody. If you're able-bodied, if you can walk and move and carry stuff, then you have to look out for the people who can't do that. People who have trouble taking care of themselves. We have a responsibility to take care of each other. But I know a lot of us, it's hard enough just to take care of ourselves. So major props to those of us in our communities who look out for everybody, who don't care about driving a Rolls Royce, who don't care about owning a mansion, they only care to make sure you have food on your plate. A very serious stream, it feels like, huh? But again, I'm coming to you as Juan. This is Juan coming at you. It's not Wandering Jay. Wandering Jay, we're gaming, When I first wanted to make a YouTube video, I wanted to get into making content. I wanted to be a political channel. I was really into politics. I remember the George Bush versus Al Gore election. I remember it. I remember watching it. I didn't know. I didn't understand the electoral college. I didn't understand voting. I didn't understand democracy. I didn't understand the left versus right. I remember being in school and asking a teacher, like, "What is it? What's the left versus right?" And he drew a bird, and he was like, "There's a left wing and a right wing," and you just kind of find yourself in one of the, you find yourself in the spectrum, the political spectrum, and I've come a long way since then. Getting into politics is really difficult because there's a lot of politics is easy if we're all just speaking truth, but there's a lot of bad actors who don't speak the truth or who can't confront the truth. So you're talking to somebody and you're talking with you accepting the harsh truth of whatever, and you're talking to somebody who can't face the truth, so you can't reach like an understanding because there's certain things that they're denying. Again, it's politics, right? It's kind of hard. I don't want to get into that too much. We are getting into, though, the ACLU's website. F11? Oh my god, I'm a beast at computers, huh? So we're just going to read this. It goes through several scenarios, and it suggests what you should do if you find yourself in these difficult situations. The ACLU, they have a long history of ACLU short summary. Let's just see what Google says. Guardians of Liberty. For nearly 100 years, the ACLU has been our nation's guardian of liberty, working in courts, legislators, and communities to defend and preserve the individual rights and liberties that the Constitution and the law of the United States guarantees everyone in this country. It almost makes me want to cry. It's so easy to want to hate. Period. It's so easy. It's so easy. And it's like, as soon as they make us stop believing on the American dream, the real American dream, where people of all colors can come together and live in harmony. It's a big experiment. It's like every other nation, they're more, just one type of nationality or race or whatever. In America, we have everybody. And it's a beautiful opportunity to be an example to the world that we can live in peace. We can live together. And there's a lot of other beautiful things that America has done. But it's so easy to focus on the hard stuff because the negative stuff has been really, really negative. But let us not lose hope. This is a great opportunity we have. And I'm also not saying like, oh, America, the world needs America to, figure out how to live. It's just we have a really great opportunity to figure it out. So let's try our best to be our best selves and understand one another. And the ACLU came from America, and look, they say working in courts, legislators and communities to defend and preserve the individual rights and liberties that the Constitution and the laws of the United States guarantee everyone in this country. Like, that's so beautiful. Like, what a great human rights organization. What a beautiful thing to come out of the United States. So yeah, let's read it. We're gonna go through the website. Okay, so this says law enforcement ask about my immigration status. How to reduce risk to yourself. Okay, so stay calm, don't run, argue, resist, or obstruct the officer. Even if you believe your rights are being violated, keep your hands where police can see them, and don't lie about your status or provide false documentation. So, be truthful. And it kind of reminds me of that Jesus quote, where it's like if somebody slaps you, I should really memorize the Bible, huh? But if somebody slaps you, you turn the other cheek. Like, you let them slap you the other way, because eventually you're giving that person an opportunity to realize that, why are you slapping me? Like, why are you gonna hurt me? Why are you gonna attack me? You give them when you retaliate back with violence, you don't give them that opportunity to grow. And it's like a lot of pressure to put on the guy who's being abused, right? But oh my God, we're gonna be here forever, huh? Let's just read it. So yeah, try your best to be calm. Don't run, don't argue, resist, or obstruct the officer, even if you believe your rights are being violated. Keep your hands where the police can see them, and don't lie about your status and provide false documents. So try your best to be at peace if something's happening, and try to keep yourself safe. So what are your rights? You have the right to remain silent and do not have to discuss your immigration or citizenship status with police, immigrant agents, or other officials. So you don't got to say anything. Anything you tell an officer can later be used against you in immigration court. So, that's rule number one. Keep quiet. Keep quiet, I've seen some videos on TikTok where someone's being arrested and someone shouts like, don't don't sign anything and don't say anything. And I think that's the biggest thing we can tell people who are in our community. Don't say anything. Don't let them do all the work. Let them figure out who you are, and your punishment, I guess, and all these stuff. Like, you don't have to say anything. Let them do, if they're gonna do this, let them do everything. Just chill. If you are not a U.S. citizen and an immigration agent requests your immigration papers, you must show them if you have them with you. Okay. If an immigrant agent asks if they can search you, you have the right to say no. Agents do not have the right to search you or your belongings without your consent or probable cause. So yeah, no one can look at your stuff. No one can enter your car. No one can look in your bag. No one can enter your house without having a warrant, signed by a judge. If you're over 18, carry your papers with you at all times. If you don't have them, oh, you know what I just realized? It's fine. We'll figure it out later. Let me reread it. If you're 18, carry your papers with you at all times. If you don't have them, tell the officer that you want to remain silent or that you want to consult a lawyer before answering any questions. So yeah, if you're ever dealing with police, keep silent and just say, I want to speak with a lawyer. Like, I want to talk to a lawyer. You don't have to ever say anything about, whatever your situation is. What to do in such an encounter. In some states, you must provide your name to law enforcement if you are stopped and told to identify yourself. But even if you give your name, you don't have to answer the other questions. If you are driving and are pulled over, the officer Um, if you're driving and are pulled over, the officer can require you to show your license, vehicle registration, and proof of insurance, but you don't have to answer questions about your immigration status. Custom officers can ask about your immigration status when entering or leaving a country. If you're a lawful permanent resident who has maintained your status, you only have to answer questions establishing your identity and permanent residency. Refusal to answer these questions will likely cause delay, but officials may not deny you entry into the United States for failure to answer other questions. If you are a non-citizen visa holder, you may be denied entry to the U.S. if you refuse to answer the officer's questions. Okay, yeah, this stuff is pretty complicated, huh? Like even I am having trouble understanding. I feel like it's more related to if you're like crossing the border, I guess. Custom officers, yeah, right, because that's where they hang out. Okay, so again, we're just gonna read it. I also want to say I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, so I just want to put this in my mind, and I'm gonna put it in your mind too. I've been stopped by police or ICE. How to reduce risk to yourself. Stay calm and do not resist or obstruct the agents or officers. Do not lie or give false documentation. Prepare yourself and your family in case you are arrested. Memorize the phone numbers of your family and your lawyer. Make emergency plans if you have children or take medication. Like, oh my god, it's so tough. It reminds me of when there's like a fire and you have to um, run away so your house doesn't catch, if your house catches on fire and you're not in trouble, like you need to take your medicine. Don't worry about taking all your things. Like, take your medicine and take, your loved ones. So what are your rights? You have the right to remain silent. If you wish to exercise that right, say so out loud. In some states, you may be required to provide your name if asked to identify yourself. You do not have to consent to a search of yourself or your belongings, but police may pat down your clothing if they suspect a weapon. If you are arrested by police, you have the right to a government-appointed lawyer. If you are detained by ICE, you have the right to consult with a lawyer, but the government is not required to provide one for you. You can ask for a list of free or low-cost alternatives. You do not have to answer questions about where you were born, whether you are a U.S. citizen, or how you entered the country. Separate rules apply at international borders and airports, and individuals on certain non-immigrant visas, including tourist and business travelers. Okay, so there's this reoccurring theme of remaining silent and just say you want to speak to a lawyer. What to do if you're arrested or detained? Say you wish to remain silent and ask a lawyer immediately. Don't give any explanations or excuses. Don't say anything, sign anything, or make any decisions without a lawyer. If you have been arrested by police, you have the right to make a local phone call. The police cannot listen if you call a lawyer. If you have been detained by ICE, you have a right to contact your consulate or have an officer inform the consulate of your detention. Remember your immigration number, A number, and give it to your family. It will help family members locate you. Keep a copy of your immigration documents with someone you trust. If you're a non-citizen, ask a lawyer about the effects of a criminal conviction or plea on your immigration status. Don't discuss your immigration status with anyone but your lawyer. While you're in jail, an immigration agent may visit you. Do not answer questions or sign anything before talking to a lawyer. Read all papers fully. If you do not understand or cannot read the papers, tell the officer you need an interpreter. Again, yeah, reoccurring theme of keeping silent, and you have a right to a lawyer. Also, an A number. I have heard about these. If you happen to get put in under ICE custody, they give you this number. Right here it's saying it's called an A number, but it's a 9-digit number. And that's an important number that you have to be able to give to the people, your community. Give it to your family or, your wife, husband, or, whoever you got. It's how they identify you as you move through the system. So they might have you detained somewhere in one detention center, and if they move you to another, it's difficult to find that person just using the name. But using that A number, which is a 9-digit number, that's the best way that they can connect with you and find out where you are. So if you happen to be detained and they give you an A number, make sure you're able to give that to someone you trust, your community. If you believe your rights were violated, write down everything you remember, including the officers' badges, patrol car numbers, which agency the officers were from, and any other details. Get contact information for witnesses. If you're injured, seek medical attention immediately and take photographs of your injuries. While written, complaint with the agency's Internal Affairs Division or Civilian Complaint Board. In most cases, you can file a complaint anonymously if you wish. So if you get hurt, take pictures. I think I'll probably come up, but you have a right to record, you know, and you have a right to ask for an officer's name and badge, and they have to give it to you. That's part of the beautiful things of living in America. And you can ask what agency they're from. And then if you have witnesses, it's important to get their contact information. If they're willing to vouch for you, you know, if you happen to take whatever happens to court. Police or ICE are at my home. How to reduce risk to yourself. Stay calm and keep the door closed. Opening the door does not give them permission to come inside, but it's safer to speak with ICE through the door. Your rights. You have a right to remain silent. Even if an officer has a warrant, you do not have to let the police or immigration agents into your home unless they have certain kinds of warrants. If police have an arrest warrant, they are legally allowed to enter the home of the person on the warrant if they believe that person is inside. But a warrant of remove or deportation does not allow officers to enter a home without consent. So, you know, if you have ICE at your door, you don't even have to respond to them. You don't have to. They'll probably be trying all sorts of tricks to get you to open the door. But if you open the door, they're coming in. Not all of them, but, you know, some people might abuse their power. Because according to this, they can only enter into your house if they have an arrest warrant. So if they don't have an arrest warrant, they only have a remove or deportation form or warrant from Form I-205, then they can't enter your home. So what do you do when the police or ICE arrives? Ask if they are immigration agents and what they are there for. Ask the agent or officer to show you a badge or an identification number through window or peephole. If they have a warrant signed by a judge, if they say they do, ask them to slide it under the door and hold it up to the window so you can inspect it. Don't lie or produce any false documentation. Don't sign anything without speaking with a lawyer first. Do not open your door unless ICE shows you a judicial search or arrest warrant, naming a person in your residence or areas to be searched at your address. If they don't produce a warrant, keep the door closed. State, I do not consent to your entry. If agents force their way in, do not resist. If you wish to exercise your rights, state, I do not consent to your entry or to your search of these premises. I am exercising my right to remain silent. I wish to speak with a lawyer as soon as possible. If you're on probation with a search condition, law enforcement is allowed to enter your home. So, yeah, it's, you know, you don't have to answer the door. You don't have to talk to anybody. If they have a warrant, you can ask them to put it on the window or like slide it under the door, and you can take a better look at it and make sure it's coming from like a court and there's a judge signature on it, and not, you know, there's these other warrants going around that don't have a judge. I think they're being produced by ICE, but those don't have the same weight as an actual warrant from a judge. Again, yeah, you don't have to say anything. Keep your mouth shut. I guess that's the biggest thing. Keep your mouth shut. So I need a lawyer. Your rights. If you're arrested by the police, you have the right to a government appointed lawyer and should ask for one immediately. So if they arrest you, you have a right to a lawyer. If arrested, you have the right to a private phone call with a reasonable time of your arrest, and police may not listen to the call if it's made to a lawyer. If you're detained by ICE or Border Patrol, you have a right to hire a lawyer, but the government does not have to provide one for you. So if you get arrested by ICE, like, you don't have a right to a lawyer. Ask for a list of free or low cost alternatives, but they can give you options. It looks like you just have to ask for it. So again, yeah, ask for a lawyer. Ask for a lawyer if you get detained or you have to talk to somebody. If you're detained, you have the right to call a lawyer or your family, and you have a right to be visited by a lawyer in detention. You have the right to have an attorney with you at the hearing before an immigration judge. So we have a lot of rights. Yeah, again, a recurring theme. Keep quiet and ask for a lawyer. And you don't have to respond to anything. Not really. I've been detained near the border by Border Patrol. How to reduce risk to yourself. Stay calm. When interacting with immigration officials, do not lie or provide false documentation. Yeah, don't lie to the police. Don't lie to them. Um, just keep quiet. Never flee from an immigration checkpoint. Your rights. You have the right to remain silent. You can also tell the agent that you'll only answer questions in the presence of an attorney, no matter your citizenship or immigration status. You do not have to answer questions about your immigration status. A limited exception exists for people who have permission to be in the U.S. for a specific reason or a limited amount of time. A non immigrant on a visa, for example. These individuals are required to provide information about their immigration status if asked. Generally, a Border Patrol agent cannot detain you unless they have reasonable suspicion that you are committing or committed a violation of immigration law or federal law. An immigration officer cannot arrest you without probable cause. That means the agent must have facts about you that make it probable that you are committing or committed a violation of immigration law or federal law. An, an immigration checkpoint, agents do not need any suspicion. Um, Give me 1 minute. Okay. Um, where was I? You have the right to remain silent. You can also tell the agent that you'll only answer questions in the presence of an attorney, no matter your citizenship or immigration status. You do not have to answer questions about your immigration status. A limited exception exists for people who have permission to be in the U.S. for a specific reason or for a limited amount of time. A non immigrant on a visa, for example. These individuals are required to provide information about their immigration status if asked. Generally, a Border Patrol agent cannot detain you unless they have reasonable suspicion that you are committing or committed a violation of immigration law or federal law. I think that's where I left off, huh? An immigration officer cannot arrest you without probable cause. That means the agent must have facts about you that make it probable that you are committing or committed a violation of immigration law or federal law. At immigration checkpoints, agents do not need any suspicion to stop you and ask you questions, but their questions should be brief and related to verifying immigration status. They can also visually inspect your vehicle. What to expect? People who have entered the U.S. without inspection by immigration officials may be subjected to expedited removal from the U.S. based on certain criteria. If you are told that you are subject to expedited removal, ask for stated reason. Ask for the stated reason. Also, if you fear prosecution if returned to your country of origin, you should immediately inform the agents of your fear. At border crossings, federal authorities do not need a warrant or even suspicion of wrongdoing to justify conducting what courts have called a routine search, such as searching luggage or a vehicle. If an agent asks you for documents, what you need to provide differs depending on your immigration status. U.S. citizens do not have to carry proof of citizenship if they are in the U.S. If you have a valid immigration documents and are over the age of 18, the law requires that you carry those documents with you. If you are asked by an immigration agent to produce them, show them to the agent. If you're an immigrant without documents, you can decline the officer's request, although an agent may then ask you more questions. Oh man, this heavy. Okay, so I was stopped by police, ICE, or Border Patrol while in transit. How to reduce risk to yourself. Stay calm, don't run, argue, or obstruct the officer or agent. Keep your hands raised where they can see them. If you're in a car, pull over. If you are in a car, pull over in a safe place as quickly as possible. Turn off the engine, turn on the internal lights, open the window part way, and place your hands on the wheel. Upon request, show police your driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance. If you are not a U.S. citizen and an immigration agent requests your papers, you must show them if you have them with you. If you are over 18, carry your immigration documents with you at all times. If you do not have immigration papers, say you want to remain silent. Your rights in a car. Drivers and passengers have a right to remain silent. If you're a passenger, you can ask if you are free to leave. If the officer says yes, calmly leave. If an officer or an immigration agent asks to look inside your car, you can refuse to consent to the search. But if police generally believe that your car contains evidence of a crime, your car can be searched without your consent. In addition to police, Border Patrol conduct roving patrols around the interior of the U.S., pulling over motorists. Border Patrol must have reasonable suspicion that the driver or passengers in the car committed an immigration violation or a federal crime. Any arrest or prolonged stop by Border Patrol requires probable cause. You may ask the agent about the basis for probable cause and they should tell you. In this situation, both the driver and any passengers have the right to remain silent and not answer any questions about their immigration status. On an airplane, a pilot may refuse to fly if he or she reasonably believes that the passenger is a threat to flight safety. A pilot may not, however, question you or refuse to allow you on a flight because of biases based on your religion, race, national origin, gender, ethnicity, or political beliefs. If you believe you are mistakenly on a no-fly list, you should review our guidance on the no-fly list here. On buses or trains. On buses and trains. Border Patrol agents may board buses and trains in the 100-mile border region either at the station or while the bus is on its journey. More than one officer usually boards the bus, and they will ask passengers questions about their immigration status, ask passengers to show them immigration documents, or both. These questions should be brief and related to verifying one's lawful presence in the U.S. You are not required to answer and can simply say you do not wish to do so. As always, you have a right to remain silent. If you believe your rights were violated, write down everything you remember, including the officer's badge and patrol car numbers. Oh, okay. Which agencies the officers were from and any other details. Get contact information for witnesses. If you're injured, seek medical attention immediately and take photographs of your injuries. File a written complaint with agency's Internal Affairs Division or Civilian Compliant Board. In most cases, you can file a complaint anonymously. So, I didn't even know that. Let me Google that right quick. Patrol car numbers? What are patrol car numbers? What is that? Police cars have an aerial roof marking, including numbers and sometimes letters to make them recognizable from the air. These markings help authorities identify police cruisers and allow communications with air or CCTV support. Oh, interesting. I did not know that. The number on top of the police car. I've never known that. Whoa. Okay, so what's the other thing? Which agency? So what does that mean? What does a police agency mean? A police agency, also known as a law enforcement agency, LEA, is a government organization responsible for enforcing laws, maintaining public order, and ensuring safety. These agencies employ law enforcement officers and resources to carry out their duties within specific jurisdictions. So, let's see. What police agencies are there in California? California Highway Patrol. Oh, wow. So yeah, there's a lot of divisions in police. Like there's a division that just focuses on firearms, gambling, forensics, narcotic enforcement, Bureau of Investigation, Department of Justice, Highway Patrol is its own thing. So fish and game, like if you were in a lake and a police was talking to you, they were probably working for the fish and game agency. So yeah, write down their badge number, their car. What was it called again? Patrol. patrol car numbers, and the agencies they work for. Three different things. I only knew about the badges. That's actually like critical information to know. And again, if you're injured, ask to see medical attention and take pictures of your injuries. File a written complaint with the agency's Internal Affairs Division or Civilian Complaint Board. In most cases, you can file a complaint anonymously, and you can file complaints to agencies, and you can be anonymous about them. That's interesting. I did not know that. I'm detained while my immigration case is underway. You're right. Most people who are detained while their case is underway are eligible to be released on bond or with other reporting conditions. You have the right to call a lawyer or your family if you are detained, and you have a right to be visited by a lawyer in detention. You have a right to have your attorney with you at the hearing before the immigration judge. What to do if you are detained. If you're denied release from being arrested for an immigration violation, ask for a bond hearing before an immigration judge. In many cases, an immigration judge can order that you be released or that your bond be lowered. Okay. Yeah, this is really complicated stuff. I've been arrested and need to challenge deportation orders. I've been arrested and need to challenge a deportation order. Your rights. You have a right to a hearing to challenge deportation orders. Unless you waiver your right to a hearing, sign something called a stipulated removal order, or take voluntary departure. You have a right to an attorney, but the government does not have to provide one for you. Ask for a list of free or low cost alternatives. If you have no lawyer, ask the court to allow you time to find one. What to do if you're arrested. If you are told that you do not have a right to see an immigration judge, you should speak with a lawyer immediately. There are some cases in which a person might not have the right to see an immigration judge, but even if you are told that is your situation, you should ask to speak to a lawyer immediately, because immigration officers will not always know or tell you about exceptions might apply to you. If you fear prosecution or torture in your home country, tell an officer to contact a lawyer immediately. You have additional rights if you have this fear. Okay, you guys, so that's it. Yes. Even though we went through all of this, it's still very complicated, and I still have questions myself. A reoccurring theme in everything we read was you have a right to remain silent. Do what the officer says. Don't lie. Ask for their badge numbers, ask for the patrol car numbers, and what agency they work for. And you always have a right to a lawyer. For the most part, you always have a right to a lawyer. I think that's the end of the stream, guys. I just wanted to do something. We all have a responsibility. And, in my current place in the world, this is what I can do. I can read over the ACLU's Know Your Rights, Immigrants' Rights, and I wanted to do that. I will edit this and put it on the React channel. It makes me sad. It's like, oh, you're making content, but it's not content. Like, I'm trying to spread information. It makes me sad to think about all the families who are separated. And it's like, we have rights. This country is wonderful and it is beautiful, and we can make it more beautiful and more wonderful by looking out for people in our community. So that's it, you guys. Maybe I'll come back if I'll just make a politics channel. But yeah, I'm Juan, and yeah, I love you. Wandering J loves you, and I love you. Take care of yourselves. Look out for one another. Try not to let fear enter your heart, and try your best to be a good person, a good moral person. And you don't need anything to tell you what's right or wrong. Like, just listen to your heart. Your heart has all the answers. It's what connects us to the universe and to all life. So that's it. Hopefully I don't alienate people who have been in my community doing this, but this is more important than you and I. It's more important than the channel, more important than Subnautica, more important than Overwatch, more important. Honestly, all this stuff is nonsense to compared to human being safety. And yeah, that's it. You guys. I'm gonna end the stream here because it's a serious subject. I'm hoping to come back to stream later tonight. Maybe we'll play some Nautica. Maybe we'll play Overwatch, or maybe I'll come back with more politics. But that's it. That's all. I just needed to get this out there. My heart's been heavy, and taking a little bit of action. I'm hoping we'll make things a little bit more light. So there you guys have it. I love you guys. Um, yeah, one final time. Remain silent. Ask for the badge numbers. Ask for the patrol car numbers. Ask for what agency they work for, and remain silent. Um, if they have a warrant for an arrest, they can't enter your home. It looks like. Um, and if they have a warrant signed by a judge, they'll come inside. But if they don't have that, then they can't enter your house. It's very human to want to talk to the person in front of your door. Someone's in front of my door. What's going on? But you don't have to do that. You can protect yourself by not doing that. Yeah. So that's it. I love you guys. The universe loves you, and everything's gonna be okay. Cause why wouldn't it be? Um, and if things happen, we'll be even better afterwards. This is an opportunity for us to change and grow. And yeah, love is the answer. And love has always been the answer. And love will continue to always be the answer. And once we all figure that out, then I wonder how cool this reality can get. Hopefully it happens in my lifetime. Y'all better pick it up. Nah, just playing. But yeah, for real, love is the answer. So, that's it. That's it. Okay, I'm just gonna say I love you and forever. So I'm just gonna end it here. Bye bye, you guys. Talk to you guys later.